Friction. We are taking question answers of friction. First is fill in the blanks. Friction opposes the dash between the surfaces in contact with each other. What is the answer? This is the motion. Friction depends on the dash of the surfaces. So the answer is roughness. Friction produces dash. Friction produces heat. Then sprinkling of powder on the carom board dash friction. It reduces the friction. Sliding friction is dash than the static friction. It is lesser than the static friction. 4 children were asked to arrange forces due to rolling, static and sliding friction in the decreasing order. The arrangements are given below. We have to choose the correct arrangement. The correct answer is C. The lowest is rolling, highest is static. So static, sliding and rolling. Alida runs her toy on a dry marble. So there is a dry marble floor, there is wet marble floor, newspaper and towel spread on the floor. The force of friction acting on the car on different surfaces in increasing order will be, so the highest will be on the towel because it's cloth. So this will be towel. So I guess this is the only option we can choose because all of them, they do not have towel in the end. So first is the wet marble, then the dry marble floor, then the newspaper and then towel. And these are in the increasing order of the force of friction which is being applied when Alida runs her toy. Suppose you are writing desk is tilted a little, a book kept on it starts sliding down. So the book is sliding down. We have to tell the direction of frictional force acting on it. So it is on the opposite direction. So this friction force acts on the opposite direction to the motion of the book. So this is the motion of the book. You spill a bucket of soapy water on a marble floor accidentally. Would it make it easier to more difficult for you to walk on the floor? Why? See, the soapy water, because there are some irregularities on which you walk. So when you don't have that, because soapy water will cover that irregularity and you will not be able to walk so freely. So it would be difficult to walk on the floor because soapy water fills the floor irregularities. This reduces the friction considerably. So there are no necessary grip for the feet to the floor surface, and that will increase the chances of slipping or falling down. Now question number 6 is explain why sportsmen use shoes with spikes. See, if this is a shoes, bottom of the shoes, we have spikes. This is just because the players are always playing and running. So if they they do not have spikes, they have a slippery or just plain shoes, then they will not be able to grip and they will always they have a tendency to fall down. So spike increases friction and give better grip with the ground. Iqbal has to push a lighter box. The box is lighter, means the weight is less, and Seema has to push a similar heavier box. The weight is higher than the lighter box on the same floor. Who will have to apply a larger force and why? See, if this is a box, then the proportionality is that the force which is being applied, or the mass or the weight of this object, the friction will be in the proportionality in the against direction. So friction force is directly proportional to the mass. So heavier box will put more force on the floor surface as compared to the lighter box. So that means that the force or friction experience is higher or lower depending upon whether the mass is or the weight is higher or lower. So Seema will have to apply larger force. Then we have explain why the sliding friction is less than the static friction. Sliding friction means see, this is sliding, then or something is sliding, then it is not touching the floor regularly. But in the static friction, the object has actually got grip of the surface. So when the objects are at rest, the interlocking of irregularities in the two surfaces of the object is higher than that of when the objects are moving. So when objects are moving, there is less interaction between these surfaces, as I just suggested. That is why sliding friction is less than the static friction. Give examples to show that the friction is both friend and foe. So friend as well as your enemy. How? Friction as a friend, we are able to walk because of friction. Then we are able to write because of friction, a ballpoint pen or ballpoint with the paper surface. Nails and screws only stick because of friction, otherwise they will just slip down. And lighting a matchstick also, just an example, is only possible because of the friction. That is how it lights up. As an enemy or as a foe, friction, the wear and tear of everything, like the machines, like your shoes, everything is caused because of friction only. So when a tire deflates, it becomes very difficult for you to move the vehicle out of the road if it is not deflated. The machine gets heated up because of friction, and the maintenance cost is very high because of friction, and becomes high if there is a large friction. That is why we put oil, etc., or the grease, so that we can reduce the friction. Explain why objects moving in fluids must have special shapes. See, you might have seen boats. These are of this shape, so they don't touch totally. That means the friction force exerted by a fluid is called a drag or a fluid friction. So in order to overcome or minimize the air-fluid friction, the bodies of object minimize its surface. You might have seen the water droplet. It is of the, you can say it is because of surface tension or because of the ability to drag into the air. This becomes round in shape. So sometimes spherical shapes or other streamlined shape with smooth surfaces. That is how you have seen aeroplane jets. They are of that shape just because they have to drag through the air. They have to reduce the friction as much as possible.